Yosemite National Park, a place of impossible beauty. Granite cliffs, silver rivers, air so thin it feels holy. But behind the postcard lies a pattern that refuses to fade. People walk in and never come back. The government says it's coincidence. The locals whisper another word: cursed. They call it the crown of the American wilderness, a temple carved by time, where sunlight pours down cathedral walls of stone and waterfalls descend like endless prayers. But beauty has a price, and in Yosemite, beauty watches. Every year, millions enter the park. Families, hikers, rangers. Most leave with photos, some with broken bones, and others with nothing at all. No footprints, no gear, no trace. Since the early 1900s, hundreds of people have vanished inside these mountains, swallowed by canyons, forests, and silence. Search parties find no evidence. Radios fail. Dogs lose the scent, as if the air itself swallows it. The official reports call them missing persons. But to those who've seen the way the park changes at dusk, how the granite glows like ember, how the sound of water drowns every voice, it feels like something older is moving here. Something that doesn't like to be found. Some say it's the terrain, cliffs that hide their dead. Others whisper of portals, of strange lights that dance between the pines. And a few believe the land itself is alive, that Yosemite chooses who stays and who disappears into its lungs of stone. Because when the wind moves through the valley, it doesn't sound like air. It sounds like breathing. This is not just a park. It's a predator made of granite and silence. A place that doesn't just take lives, it keeps them. Welcome to Yosemite National Park, the park that eats its own. There is no place like Yosemite, but beauty demands payment. A cathedral of stone. There are landscapes that humble you, and then there is Yosemite, a place so vast, so silent, that language itself feels smaller here. Granite walls rise 3,000 feet from the valley floor, polished by 1,000 centuries of ice. Waterfalls plunge like silver wires from the clouds. Meadows breathe in light and exhale mist. To stand in Yosemite is to stand inside something ancient and awake. It was declared a national park in 1890, a promise to preserve Eden. Today, more than 4 million visitors arrive each year. They camp, hike, climb, photograph, and leave, believing they have seen purity untouched. But purity deceives. The same cliffs that shine gold at sunset have swallowed climbers whole. The same rivers that glitter like glass can turn violent without warning. Even in daylight, Yosemite carries a stillness that feels too complete. The isolation behind the beauty from the air. The park looks infinite, over 100 square miles of wilderness, carved by glaciers and silence. Within it lie valleys no road reaches, peaks that tear clouds, forests older than memory. Temperature can swing 40 degrees in a single day. Winter storms trap even seasoned hikers. Black bears move like shadows. Falls of ice can thunder without warning. At night, when the stars ignite above Half Dome, the world below becomes a labyrinth of stone and echo. People call it nature's masterpiece. Rangers call it unpredictable. Because in Yosemite, a single wrong step can erase you. The first whispers of vanishing disappearances happen in every wilderness, but here they carry a pattern. Since the 1960s, park archives record case after case of visitors who simply never came back. A boy who walked ahead on the trail and was gone when his parents rounded the bend. An experienced climber who radioed his descent. And then, silence. A photographer whose tripod was found beside the river. Camera intact. No footprints leading away. Search teams combed miles of forest. Dogs were brought in, trained to find the scent of anything human. But in Yosemite, the dogs often stopped. They would circle, whine, and refuse to move forward, as if whatever they chased had vanished into air. Helicopters scanned thermal signatures, only to watch sudden fog rise out of nowhere, thick and metallic, blinding the sensors. The mountains, it seemed, were protecting their own. The man who started asking questions. Among those who noticed was David Paulides, a former police officer who began collecting missing person reports from U.S. national parks. What he found disturbed even him. Patterns, always patterns. People disappearing near granite formations, near bodies of water, or right before storms. Weather shifts that erased tracks within minutes. Search dogs losing the trail as though scent had been cut with a knife. Paulides compiled hundreds of these cases in what would become the Missing 411 series. Records the Park Service could not explain, or would not. When questioned, officials offered statistics, probabilities, the usual comfort of coincidence. But the numbers refused to behave. Too many vanishings in too small a space. Too few clues in too much daylight. It wasn't proof of the paranormal. It was worse. It was proof of absence. The wilderness as a living thing. Those who spend enough time here begin to describe Yosemite not as a place, but as a presence. Rangers speak of sudden silences, the forest going still as if holding its breath. Hikers tell of light that changes color mid-trail, of echoes that return words they never said. Some swear that when the wind moves through the valley, they can hear a low vibration beneath it. Something deeper than sound, more like intention. Maybe it's just the acoustics of granite. Maybe it's something older, watching from between the trees. Because in Yosemite, beauty doesn't comfort. It challenges. It tests. And sometimes it takes. Where the trails end. When people vanish here, time behaves strangely. Searches begin within hours, yet weather flips within minutes. Sun to hail, calm to chaos. Compasses lose calibration. Radios crackle with static that sounds almost like breathing. Rescuers say the hardest part isn't finding bodies, it's finding anything. Backpacks lie zipped, food untouched, footprints end mid-path. It's as if the park edits the story while they read it. They call it coincidence. Locals call it warning. Closing beat for Chapter 1. Yosemite was meant to be a sanctuary, a cathedral of wilderness preserved for eternity. But cathedrals, too, have crypts. Here, the sacred and the sinister share the same soil. Granite remembers. Water erases. The wind keeps the names of those who never left. And when the sun sets behind El Capitan, the valley darkens, not like night, but like a door closing. There is no place like Yosemite, but beauty demands payment.